Everybody, welcome back. The portfolio is sitting at about $1.15 million, and in this video, I'm going to explain one of my positions that I bought recently. This could be a mistake, but then again, it could go really well. Okay, so I'll explain to you what I bought. I basically bought this Meta Planet right here. Meta Planet is a Japanese Bitcoin treasury company. The CEO is his name is called Simon Gorovich. He's an ex Goldman Sachs derivatives trader. And basically, what they did is that they basically, if you are unaware, Japan has very, very low interest rates in the past, has very little low growth. So it's very, very cheap money available. And they basically raise Bitcoin. So they are following the micro strategy playbook where they raise a bunch of Bitcoin. And then the value of their stock is basically based on their Bitcoin holdings and stuff like that. Right. So there's generally more volatility into these stocks, so your return will be basically amplified according to and it's in line with Bitcoin as well. Yep. So Bitcoin, for example, it can 1.1x, for example, but a Bitcoin treasury company stock basically goes to 1.5x. It's basically amplified Bitcoin, amplified volatility. The issue is these days, because there's a lot of these companies popping up, for example, there's a lesser of a premium. So let me kind of explain to you my thesis. And yeah, I kind of made a mistake of like I probably bought too early. I probably bought too high a price when right now it's on a trajectory of a falling knife. Right now, you can see it's going on from a falling knife right here. I can tell you my cost basis. My cost basis is basically 1243 over here. So I was buying downwards as well. I bought first one at 1500 and I bought it 1200, stuff like that. And I started buying downwards, but it kept dropping. Okay, so you can laugh at my pain or whatever or whatsoever. I think I'm down about 25 to 30%. So I bought about 100K so far. I'm down about maybe 25,000 to 30,000 so far. So it's sad at this point in time, but I'm not gonna sell it, right? I'm just gonna hold it and see what happens. If I really lose money, oh shit. I mean, if I just break even, okay, that'll be great. But what I'm looking at is I'm looking at a 4x return. So if I put in 100K, for example, I hope to get 300, 400K back in total, right? Basically 3 to 4x my entire return. So I'll just show you the math on kind of how I see things. But I basically bought around here and then it started dropping. And then my cost basis is 1,243. So it's around in the middle of here. Now it's down even further. And oh shit, it's really, really dropping. So I look at the support levels here. It's probably like 500, 550 or so, 600 or so. So it may actually still continue dropping, and I may still continuously lose money. But you don't lose money if you don't sell. Okay, so that's some copium for you if you like it. Yeah, I'm really coping right here. Yeah, if it drops to 600, holy shit, I'm probably gonna lose another what $15,000 or so. But these are all unrealized gains until I sell it. Okay, so in the long term, in 2 to 3 years, for example, I'm actually not worried. It's just more like within this 3 to 600 day window, it's pretty yeah, it's pretty bad. Okay, but let me show you what's happening. So basically, like Eric Trump, Donald Trump's dad. I don't like Donald Trump, by the way, but I don't care. Okay, the son is basically the one, I think the chairman of the board or something, but basically he's an advisor to the company, and then this guy is the CEO basically. And in Japan, for example, the fixed income market is very, very big. There's very, very low yields. Yeah, and basically what they do is they raise a bunch of Bitcoin. So I actually bought it at about, I think, a $6.19 billion market cap, and so now it's 4.1 billion. So it's like you can see it's reduced significantly. I do believe it will continuously go down to like 3 billion or like 2.5 billion market cap. So the amount of Bitcoin that they have, for example, let me explain to you a metric, because this is like only exclusive to Bitcoin treasury companies, and in the normal equity markets they don't have this. Okay, in the normal equity markets, right? They have something called price to earnings ratio over here. So, for example, if I have $1 million in profit, for example, and I have a 5x PE ratio, then my company is worth $5 million. In the Bitcoin treasury space, there's something called MNAV, where it's like if I have $2 billion in Bitcoin in NAV, basically net asset value, right? If I have a 2x MNAV, you can see like I 2x this, I basically have a $4 billion market cap, and so my company is worth 4 billion, right? So you can see the MNAV historically for this company has been trading anywhere from like 3 all the way to 9. So 3 to 9. So it's like within this range. But most recently, for example, it has dropped to its like historic low. You can see it's dropped to its historic low to basically a 2 MNAV. Right? So the company, how I see it is that, okay, it's like undervalued now, or it's like going to undervalued territory. because it's like trading at a historical low compared to the MNAV. And this MNAV, you can think about it as like valuation and stuff like that. Okay. However, the bigger your Bitcoin treasury is, normally your MNAV should decrease as well. Okay, so that there's like a lesser premium the bigger you get, basically. And the reason why this happens is because you can see even on the MicroStrategy big dog right here, this line right here, the NAV multiplier, um, yeah, so it shows the premium analysis is showing whether the stock trades above or below its net asset value. So you can see for basic and diluted shares. Let me go to diluted. So the reason why there's diluted shares is because what the company does is that they will sell their shares when the price is high in order to raise funds to buy more Bitcoin. So that's basically their entire strategy. And you can see even on the big dot right here, the MNAV is basically reducing and it going down to 1.57 right here. Whereas historically, you can see this is like a crypto winter where it's like really down. It's almost a 1x MNAV. But when on a crypto bull run, for example, you can see it's really high. And then the 2021, I think, is the bull run right here. And then when the price goes up as well, there's a greater MNAV premium. And so the volatility is increased. And so more people trade the stock, basically. Yeah. So how I see it is that, yeah, this thing is undervalued so far, but it's still dropping like a knife. And I do believe it actually can still drop further from a 2x MNAV to basically 1.5x MNAV. And in my mind, it's like that's considered cheap per se, whatever we want to call it, right? So yeah, yeah. So how I think about the calculation? Let me show you the actual presentation that is given to the shareholder. Okay, so they basically have a plan to buy about 210,000 Bitcoin by 2027. Okay, I'm gonna skip all of this stuff right here, just to let you see what's happening. So you can see in the past, this is the amount of Bitcoin that they have, and this is the target for how much Bitcoin they're gonna acquire, right? So they're basically like telling all shareholders, hey, we're gonna do this thing right here. We're gonna buy a bunch of Bitcoin, and then we're gonna put it on the balance sheet, and that's basically how you can kind of calculate their valuation in the future. Yeah. So you can see by 2025, they will hope to acquire 30,000. By 26, they hope to acquire 100,000. By 27, they hope to acquire 210,000. Right. So keep these numbers in mind. Okay. So how I think about the valuation is that right now, at this point in time, it is sitting at a $4 billion market cap right here. Okay. The biggest guy in the space, for example, right now, they have a $100 billion market cap. I'm not saying that this company is going to 30x and become the next MicroStrategy, but do I believe that this $4 billion company can become a $10 billion company? Yeah, why not, right? Why not? And so I've done the calculation here, or ChatGPT has. So you can see, I think they have one of the graphs over here as well. Yeah, you can see over here. Just put it side by side for you. In 2025, they've accumulated about 60% of what they wanted so far. Okay, so by the end of the year, if Bitcoin is at about 120k, I believe now it's at 117k. So it's not unreasonable to think that it is still the same price. However, if Bitcoin drops back to 100k, for example, basically the entire company's Bitcoin value is going to be valued at $3 billion. So the company at a 1 times MNAV is going to be $3 billion. Right now it's at a right now it's currently at a $4 billion market cap. So it's like there's a bit of a premium there, right? So it's like kind of overvalued per se. And then 30 towns at a 120, you can basically see it's 3.6. So by the end of the year, we should be able to be minimum 3.6 minimum, right? It shouldn't dip below 3.6. It does not make sense. Yeah. And from 3.6 to 4.19, yeah, that's still a bit of a premium right here. Yeah. How I'm looking at it is that imagine we really go into a crypto winter, right? And then the MNAV basically decompresses. And it goes to like almost 1.2, 1.3x, for example. By the end of the year, right, we will have 100,000 Bitcoin. And even at 100,000 price, which is basically the price like maybe 6 months ago, the entire company is worth $10 billion. So if my entry price was about 6 billion, I would still make a 40% gain there, if my math is correct. Yeah. So like how I see it is that I probably need to hold this thing for 1 year or 2 years just for me to basically see some returns and so far. I do not know whether it's going to happen or not. Nobody knows what's going to happen, and anybody who knows you what's going to happen is probably lying to you. But that's basically my speculation, or that's basically my projection, right? And so if I at the end of the year, sorry, at the end of the 2027, when they do accumulate 210,000, you can see here 210,000. And then I bought it at a $6 billion market cap. And if the price keeps going down, and if I get a lower cost basis, if I get a cost basis at maybe at a $5 billion market cap, right? to 5x my money basically. Yeah, you can see I basically it will basically be 5x from here, right? And that is considering it's only a 1x MNAV. If it is actually as a 1.5 or a 2x or a 3x MNAV, for example, then this 25 billion could be a 30 billion, 50 billion dollar company and stuff like that, right? So we don't know what the market is willing to pay, but at the same time, I'm trying to be realistic. Right now, I'm down. It's fine. I'm trying to be calm. Yeah, I mean, I am down. You can clearly see. Yeah, unrealized profits. I'm negative 4.7 million. Does not feel very good. It is fine. It is fine. Yeah, but this is basically my thesis for why I bought this company, and hopefully you can get some value off this video. And then there's basically my information is coming from, or like a lot of the stuff that I see coming from X or Twitter. There's something called the Meta Planet Dojo and stuff like that. And so if you want to read more about this company, you can. Feel free to check this out. But yeah, this is just my position that I have. Please do not let my decision affect your decision. But I do believe that like it is going down. Like it's getting cheaper and cheaper. So it's like it makes even more sense to even buy more. So yeah, obviously if it really does hit 600 for example, I'm gonna add to my position here. I'm not gonna sell my position. I'm gonna actually add to my position so that I can reduce my cost basis, because you really only make money when you buy, right? Yeah. So if actually it goes down like crazy, like it goes down to like a $3 billion market cap, right? Or $2.5 billion market cap, I'm definitely buying, because it's almost same as like a 1x MNAV, which is to me is a discount on a treasury company. Yeah. And hopefully Japan Japan has something, and there's a lot of headwinds and stuff, but this conference is coming up, so hopefully they'll drum up some investor excitement and stuff like that. The Trump family is really good at that. Yeah. And then afterwards they're going to have their AGM as well, their annual general meeting and stuff. So yeah, hopefully this gives you some perspective of why I invested 100k into this thing right here. You may see me suffer, you may see me lose, but you may see me win as well. So we'll see what happens, and then we'll take it from there. All right, see you in the next video.